I woke up inside a novel as its tragic cannon fodder supporting lead. Once I realized my girlfriend was destined to fall for the male lead and get rid of me to save my life, I decided to strike first. After she was drugged, when she was meant to spend the night with the male lead, I got there first. Afterward, I staged a dramatic cheating expose. I pushed open the door, looked at the suggestive marks on Liu Ruyan's body, and my eyes instantly reddened. Liu Ruyan, you're a real piece of trash. As Liu Ruyan tried to step forward and explain, I took several steps back, avoiding her hand. Liu Ruyan, this is what you call the business trip. Baby, it's not what you think. You know you're the only one I love. Hearing that, I shouted in anguish. Stop talking. Look at those marks all over you. How can you still deny it? She wanted to explain, but found herself unable to say a word. All she could do was look at me pleadingly. But I said firmly, we're breaking up. I don't want a woman who's been sullied. Break up? You're breaking up with me. Yes, don't bother me again. The sight of you makes me sick. With that, I turned and fled in disgrace. Out with the old, in with the new. She's a cheating scumbag. She's not worth grieving over. I used to envy you two for growing up together. She'd liked you since childhood, always clinging to you. I thought she was devoted and true. Turns out it was all fake. Hearing that, I pretended to be on the verge of collapse, clutching my friend as I sobbed. I really loved her. Why couldn't we make it to the end? Gu Chen, no matter how much you love her, you can't be with her. She cheated on you. Once it happens once, it'll happen again. But what my friend didn't know was, Liu Ruyan hadn't actually cheated. This was all part of my plan. It began 3 months earlier. I was walking down the street when I accidentally collided with a young man. That night, I had a dream. In that dream, I learned that my world was a novel. Liu Ruyan was its female lead, but I wasn't the male lead. Gu Chen was merely a cannon fodder supporting character. The male lead was Ji Boda, the young man I had collided with that day. After meeting him, Liu Ruyan would realize that the bond we'd shared growing up together wasn't love. She would gradually fall in love with Ji Boda, and I, that cannon fodder supporting character, would become possessive of Liu Ruyan. That possessiveness would make me hurt the male lead again and again, until I exhausted the last of Liu Ruyan's feelings for me. My parents, who treasured me dearly, would also target the male lead again and again for my sake. In the end, my entire family would be ruined, and we would all die. At first, I didn't believe it. But after that, no matter where Liu Ruyan and I went, Ji Boda was always nearby. When we went shopping, he would be handing out flyers by the roadside. When we ate at a Western restaurant, he would be our waiter. I even deliberately changed my college choices and applied with Liu Ruyan to a university in a neighboring province. Yet Ji Boda still showed up without fail. Miraculously, he was even in Liu Ruyan's major in class. It was as if everything were destined. In the days that followed, I saw him countless times walking absent-mindedly and accidentally bumping into Liu Ruyan. Or he'd scrape her car while riding his bike. Or Liu Ruyan would happen upon him being bullied. Even when Liu Ruyan did nothing, the bullies, merely because she'd arrived, would leave immediately. Ji Boda would see Liu Ruyan as his savior and give her cookies he had baked himself. Although Liu Ruyan rejected his kindness every time or ignored his gifts, that still wasn't enough to make me feel secure. Instead, it made me even more afraid, because at the beginning of the novel, she treated Ji Boda the same way. Ji Boda was like a ticking time bomb. He made me painfully aware that Liu Ruyan, who should have been mine, would be taken from me. No matter how I tried to keep them apart, they would always meet some other way. In the novel, Liu Ruyan's interest in Ji Boda began with a car accident. The moment I realized that, I tried to stop Liu Ruyan from leaving home that day. Liu Ruyan had no idea why. She thought I just wanted to sleep in. She pulled me from the blankets and kissed me. Baby, if you don't get up, we'll be late. I pinned her beneath me. Ruyan, you're not going anywhere today. Just stay home with me, okay? Baby, you're so bossy. But I really want to go to class. What should we do? Unless you can name something more tempting for us to do at home. I immediately saw through her naughty little scheme. She leaned down to kiss my lips, but I blocked her with my hand. So she kissed the back of my hand instead. Her deliberate little bite sent a ticklish shiver through me. I tried to hide beneath the blankets, but she pulled me up and pinned me against the wall. Still, in the end, she listened to me. She stayed home and never went out. I thought everything had changed. But the next day, while Liu Ruyan was driving me to class, an out-of-control car came crashing toward us. Then I knew nothing had changed. To protect me, Liu Ruyan swerved the car at the critical moment, putting herself in the greatest danger. Aside from feeling dizzy, I didn't have a single injury. But Liu Ruyan was covered in blood. As we were carried out, I saw Ji Boda giving Liu Ruyan first aid. In that instant, I knew everything I had done was futile. The male and female leads were destined to meet and fall in love. And because Ji Boda's emergency care was so effective, Liu Ruyan was successfully saved. Liu Ruyan's parents were deeply grateful to him. After learning of his pitiful background, they even wanted to make him their godson. Ji Boda nervously declined. Mr. and Mrs. Liu, you're giving me too much credit. Liu Ruyan saved me before, too. Helping her was only right. Liu Ruyan's father looked surprised. So Ruyan saved you too? Ha, you two really are fated. Those words left me miserable and hopeless. As I looked at Ji Boda, dark thoughts rose in my heart. I was the one who had grown up alongside Liu Ruyan. Why was he the male lead? Why could he so easily take everything from me? I finally understood why my character in the novel had turned evil. After all, watching someone steal the person you love would hurt anyone, wouldn't it? But I didn't want to end up as I did in the novel. Nor did I want to do as the novel said, and make things difficult for Ji Boda, only to make Liu Ruyan despise me more each day. So I decided to let her go. Love can be found again. But once you're dead, you have nothing. To ensure our breakup went smoothly, and make Liu Ruyan feel guilty toward me, I staged a scene where I caught her cheating. I learned that while on a business trip to Haicheng, Liu Ruyan would be secretly drugged, then mistakenly sleep with Ji Boda. I prepared to make the first move, so I arrived early, planning to get there before Ji Boda, and take the drugged Liu Ruyan away. After taking the disoriented Liu Ruyan back to the hotel, to keep her from waking up halfway through, I even blindfolded her with a tie. After doing all that, my heart was pounding in my throat. I'd never done anything this terrible before, but there was no turning back now. She panted softly, murmuring, "Gu Chen, baby, I'm so hot." Her words made my face burn. But when I thought that if Ji Boda had come today, she would have been like this with him too, I couldn't help venting my anger by leaving bite marks on her neck. After I had my way with her, I hurried to the airport. When the time was right, and Liu Ruyan's drug was about to wear off, I took my closest friends to witness a dramatic cheating expose. Whether there was a man beside Liu Ruyan didn't matter. The marks on her body were impossible to explain away. This fabricated lover would leave Liu Ruyan unable to defend herself. Everything unfolded exactly as I had planned. In the end, she became the heartless cheater, while I was the tragic first love she betrayed. After leaving Haicheng, I rushed home and locked myself in my room. My grief was real. Giving up someone I loved for so long wasn't easy. And so was my guilt, because based on the novel's plot, I had condemned her before she'd done anything. My parents came one after another to comfort me, but I ignored them all. They only believed Liu Ruyan had wronged me, but only I knew that Liu Ruyan had done nothing wrong. Liu Ruyan called again and again, but I never answered. Later, she actually came to my home, begging me to see her. I'd known from the start that such an abrupt breakup wouldn't be easy for her to accept. If I followed the novel and slowly made her grow to hate me, I couldn't bear that either. For days, she stood outside my house. My parents knew I didn't want to see her, so they wouldn't let her inside. Until one rainy day, she stood soaked for hours and still refused to leave. My parents had watched her grow up. After all, their hearts softened, and they let her in. Outside my door, I heard her pleading, "Baby, I was wrong. Please talk to me. This is my fault. I shouldn't have drunk. I shouldn't have let myself get dirty. Please, just look at me. I've already washed myself. Baby, I'm begging you." Her voice caught with sobs. "Do I have to tear off this skin before you'll see me?" I knew she was capable of it, so I had no choice but to open the door. Tears streamed freely from her eyes. She was soaked through, like a drenched little puppy. She reached out to hug me, but just as she was about to touch me, she drew her hand back. I looked at her exposed skin. Her neck was covered in unnatural red marks, as though she'd scrubbed it raw. Where the bite marks had been, she had even scrubbed the skin open. "Baby, can you give me one more chance? Liu Ruyan, without me, you can still love someone else. Don't cling to this anymore. There won't be anyone else. What about Ji Boda? Can you honestly say his appearance hasn't affected you? Liu Ruyan didn't deny it right away. Then I knew I'd been right. I wiped the tears from my face and stared steadily at her. Liu Ruyan, let's part on good terms. It's not like that, baby. Her eyes red. She shook her head, trying to explain. Liu Ruyan, I'm begging you. Let us give each other a dignified ending. With that, I shut the door. I couldn't bear to see her devastated face again. I slid to the floor with my back against the door. Outside, I heard her break down sobbing. Then came the sound of fists striking the wall. How can you be so heartless? I didn't want to hear her punish herself anymore. Then I messaged Liu Ruyan's parents, asking them to send someone to pick her up. After that, I applied to study abroad. When Liu Ruyan left, I didn't know. When I woke up, I was on an intravenous drip. The doctor said it was acute pneumonia. Thankfully, they caught it early. When my mother saw I was awake, she held me and wept, heartbroken. Chen, don't be sad anymore. Your father and I will always love you. After comforting my mother, I brought up studying abroad. My father froze when he heard that. He wanted to say something, but swallowed the words. My mother patted his back and told him to make me something to eat. Once he had left the room, my mother sat in a chair and looked at me. Her expression was serious. Chen, what exactly happened to you? My hand tightened at her question. I wanted to brush it off, but then my mother handed me a file envelope. It contained a record of everywhere I'd gone in hiking. My heart jolted when I saw it. If my mother could uncover this, then Liu Ruyan naturally could too. But all of Liu Ruyan's attention now was focused on winning me back. She had no energy to investigate who had set her up, and she would never suspect that I was the man from that night. But once she came to her senses, that might change. I murmured, Mom, before I could even make my request. My mother already understood. I've already cleaned up after you. That girl from the Liu family. She won't find anything. I breathed a sigh of relief. But you have to tell me. Why did you do this? You're my son. No matter how great the trouble, your mother will stand behind you. Warmth filled my heart at her words. My eyes brimmed with tears. My parents in the novel were just like this. To protect me, they used threats and bribes to drive Ji Boda away. Yet they ultimately met a tragic end. I fell silent for a moment, then finally told her about the events in the novel. I only left out how Ji Boda had caused my death. My mother frowned deeply after listening. I didn't know whether she believed me, but regarding my application to study abroad, she immediately began speeding it along for me. Time passed, and the years flew by. In the blink of an eye, for years had passed, Liu Ruyan and Ji Boda were getting married. Though I'd always avoided news of them, our social circles overlapped, so I inevitably heard about them. The weight on my heart finally lifted. It seemed everything had finally settled. Without a disposable side character like me interfering, they still ended up together. It just took them a little longer. At last, I could return home without worry. As I exited the airport, I ran into a woman dressed in casual clothes. Gu Chen, welcome home. She smiled and waved at me, then offered me a bouquet of flowers. I froze for a few seconds before realizing she was Xiaoxi, the arranged match my parents had introduced to me. It was an arranged marriage, but only if she was someone I liked. So my parents had sent me her contact information long ago. We had talked for some time. Xiaoxi was gentle, with delicate, graceful features. She was a good person. I accepted the bouquet with a smile. Thank you. I love them. Smiling, she took my luggage. I'm glad you like them. I followed her around the corner, planning to take the elevator to the parking garage. I turned and locked eyes with Liu Ruyan. I froze instantly. Even my blood seemed to freeze. The Liu Ruyan before me was both familiar and strange. Her face was cold and stern. She stood tall and slender. Her presence was even more commanding. There was no longer love or tenderness in her eyes when she looked at me. Instead, they were icy cold. She walked straight toward me, step by step. Each step felt like it landed on my long, quiet heart. Her overwhelming presence made me take half a step back. Then a man's voice suddenly rang out, breaking the suffocating tension. Ruyan, I'm here. Have you been waiting long? The moment I heard that voice, I knew without guessing that it was Ji Boda. Liu Ruyan paused, dressed in a white suit. Ji Boda had already reached her. I told you, there's a driver. Why did you have to come pick me up yourself? I'm not a child. Though he sounded annoyed, his face glowed with happiness. My hand tightened around the roses. Their thorns stabbed into my palm. Once upon a time, Liu Ruyan had been the same with me. No matter where I went, no matter how far, she would take me there. And whenever I returned, no matter how busy she was, she would come pick me up. But that privilege was no longer mine alone. It was in that moment that I finally realized. After 4 years, I still couldn't completely let Liu Ruyan go. I forced myself to look away and gave Xiaoxi a forced smile. Let's go. My parents are waiting. After Xiaoxi gave them a polite nod, she prepared to take me away. Ji Boda called after me, sounding surprised. Gu Chen, I didn't expect you to be back. You've become even more handsome. I almost didn't recognize you. This is your girlfriend, right? You two really suit each other. He took out 2 wedding invitations and held them out to me. Ryan and I are getting married. As our old classmate, please honor us with your presence at the wedding. I took the invitations, pretending not to care, struggling to keep my composure. All right, I'll be there. Then I smiled and said goodbye. From start to finish, Liu Ruyan hadn't said a single word to me, as if she were invisible. Not until Xiaoxi and I entered the elevator, and the doors began to close, did I see Liu Ruyan's gaze fixed tightly on me. My heart lurched. I shifted aside, out of her line of sight. Xiaoxi asked, "What's wrong, Gu Chen?" I shook my head, but unease kept whistling through my heart. News of my return quickly spread through our circle. I inevitably had to meet up with friends I used to be close to, at a gathering with the guys. After catching up, everyone started gossiping. Gu Chen, tell us honestly, did you come back to stop the wedding? Just say the word, and we'll help you win Liu Ruyan back. I quickly waved my hands. Liu Ruyan and I are in the past. Don't do anything reckless. At that, my friends clicked their tongues and sighed. I would have sooner believed the world would end tomorrow than believed you two would break up. What happened between you two back then? How could Liu Ruyan fall for Ji Boda? Was there some misunderstanding between you? Or did Ji Boda steal your girl? Questions came one after another. They kept listing all the ways Liu Ruyan had been good to me. We had been inseparable since kindergarten. Though she was a year older, she spoiled me rotten. With other children, teachers encouraged them to feed themselves, but that never worked on me. Because Liu Ruyan handled everything for me, feeding me, giving me milk, and putting me to sleep. Whenever I ran into trouble, all I had to do was call Liu Ruyan's name, and she would handle it for me. One friend joked, "Any man who can't control his own woman is trash." The remark made everyone wonder if they had misheard him. My friends could not help asking me if it was true. I did not want to deal with them, so I excused myself to the restroom. When I came out, I stumbled straight into a familiar embrace. My heart began racing for no reason. I had not expected Liu Ruyan to be here too. I hastily pulled away and tried to leave, but her low voice stopped me. "Baby, it has been for years. Do you not want to look at me?" That familiar endearment stopped me in my tracks. My eyes stung with tears. With my back to her, I said, "Miss Liu, you are getting married. You should be faithful to your fiancé. Calling someone else that is inappropriate." With that, I started to walk away, but the person behind me suddenly grabbed me from behind. At the same time, a handkerchief covered my mouth and nose. When I woke again, I was lying on a bed. Other than a single door, the room was sealed on every side. The entire room was a blinding white. The door opened, and Liu Ruyan walked in. Only then did I remember what happened before I passed out. The stifling atmosphere and Liu Ruyan's clearly abnormal state made my heart leap into my throat. I sat up and backed against the wall. My voice trembled slightly. "Liu Ruyan, what are you doing?" "Baby, I just missed you so much." She slowly came closer, her eyes full of obsession and hurt. "Liu Ruyan, do not be crazy. Let me go home now. My parents will worry if they know I am missing." At that, her expression suddenly turned sinister. Her face went cold. "Why will you not think about me? Why is everyone else all you think about? Why did you smile at another woman? Why did you accept someone else's roses? How could you make another woman your girlfriend?" The next instant, she shoved me down onto the bed. "Baby, you have been very naughty. I need to punish you." As though she had convinced herself, she crashed her lips onto mine. The kiss was fierce and brutal, with no gentleness at all. In pain, I bit her lip until it split. With tears in my eyes, I shouted, "Get away from me. Get away." When she saw my tears, her whole body went rigid. Then she sprang up and slapped herself hard across the face. "Baby, I am sorry. I scared you. Please do not be mad, okay? Then let me go." But she fell silent. "Liu Ruyan, do you intend to lock me up forever?" "No, baby. Believe me, I did not know what she was trying to do. At least she used my phone to deceive my parents, so they would not worry about my disappearance. I was not as anxious anymore. Liu Ruyan still treated me as well as she always had. Apart from keeping me imprisoned, everything I ate, wore, and used was chosen to suit my taste. When I said I did not want to be kept, stay locked in that windowless room, she even let me move freely around the villa. But as her wedding to Ji Boda drew near, she still showed no intention of letting me go. I felt like a canary caged by Liu Ruyan. Yet every day, she actively prepared for her wedding to Ji Boda. So, whenever she came near me, I felt even more disgusted. One night, when she again tried to sleep beside my bed, I shouted at her, "Liu Ruyan, can you stay away from me? You are disgusting, do you know that?" Liu Ruyan froze for a moment, then she began taking off her clothes instead. Horrified, I scrambled out of bed. "Liu Ruyan, you are about to get married. What do you call this?" But it was as though she could not hear me. Her hands did not stop. She slowly stripped off her clothes. There was no way I dared look at her. I looked away and tried to run out, but the door had a keypad lock. I could not open it at all. Just when I thought she was about to force herself on me, she only pleaded with sick, obsessive desperation. "Baby, look at me. I have spent years scrubbing myself clean. I am not dirty anymore." I froze when I heard that. I had always felt guilty about this, but she was about to marry Ji Boda, so I turned away from her. What does whether you are dirty have to do with me? You should worry whether Ji Boda minds. For some reason, my words enraged her. The woman who had just been pleading so humbly immediately turned cold and detached. She forcibly turned my face back toward her, making me look at her. "I belong to you. How could it have nothing to do with you? If I am dirty, you should punish me. But all you want is to abandon me. Do you not love me at all anymore?" Hearing that, her twisted state left me stunned. I had no doubt something was wrong with her mind. When she placed a knife in my hand, I became even more certain. "Baby, punish me, please. I remember every place someone has bitten. We can scrape them off, one spot at a time." "Liu Ruyan, snap out of it." I tried with all my strength to pull the knife away, but she obsessively believed that if I was not angry and did not punish her, then I did not love her. The blade had already drawn blood across her skin. The vivid red blood made me furious and frantic. "Enough. I did all that to you back then. You are not dirty." After saying that, I closed my eyes. All I could think of was her angrily demanding why I had done it. Yet she only shook her head. She did not believe me at all. She stubbornly insisted that I punish her. I had no time to wonder why she did not believe me. I only wanted to stop her madness. "Liu Ruyan, get dressed right now, or get out of this room." Having been given an order, she immediately dressed herself properly. "Baby, you still want me, right? I can sleep beside your bed, right?" I did not want to answer her. I wrapped myself in the blankets. "Baby." I heard movement beside the bed. I grumbled to myself. She really was seriously sick. There was a bed, yet she would not use it. She insisted on sleeping on the floor. That night, perhaps because I had too much on my mind, I never slept deeply. So, when Liu Ruyan left the room in the middle of the night, I quietly followed her. Liu Ruyan's home actually had a basement. Unfortunately, its door required a passcode. The moment Liu Ruyan went inside, it locked automatically. I had no choice but to return silently to my room. I lay on the bed and pretended to sleep. Nearly 2 hours later, Liu Ruyan returned. In the darkness, she took my hand and kissed it against her lips. "Baby, it will all be over soon." I did not understand what would soon be over, but I knew it had to be connected to the basement. So the next day, after Liu Ruyan left, I found the entrance to the basement. It had a 6-digit passcode lock. I tried Liu Ruyan's birthday, then mine. Even every anniversary was wrong, until I entered the date we broke up. The door opened. It was another basement, but unlike the place where Liu Ruyan had once held me captive, this basement was dark, gloomy, and cold, like a man-eating beast. As I went deeper, I saw a reclining chair. It had restraint straps, along with an electroshock device, medication, and more. I was horrified. I guessed it was for treating mental illness. So Liu Ruyan really did have a mental disorder. But after searching through everything, I could not find what illness it was meant to treat. I had no choice but to put everything back. I would find a chance to ask Liu Ruyan. But as soon as I came up from the basement, I saw Ji Boda. My heart jolted. I had not expected Ji Boda to come looking for Liu Ruyan here. Ji Boda looked down at me. Gu Chen, you really are impossible to get rid of. As a supporting character, you should know your place. Otherwise, you will end badly. A supporting character. Does Boda know he is the protagonist? I thought to myself. Then I feigned ignorance. What are you talking about? I do not understand. Ji Boda smiled. If you do not understand, why did you leave the country back then? Ji Boda had practically laid everything bare. Then he said Liu Ruyan had mental problems. You know that, right? I looked him straight in the eye. What exactly are you trying to say? I just want to advise you never to appear before her again. Otherwise, when she loses her mind, it will be entirely because of you. But why do I feel that if I leave, she is the one who will go crazy? Ji Boda gave a cold snort. When Liu Ruyan and I get married, I hope you can still smile. With that, he turned and left. After he left, I considered how to get information out of Liu Ruyan. When Liu Ruyan returned, I tried asking indirectly, but could not get anything from her. In the end, I had to use my trump card and get her drunk. She had always been a lightweight. After what happened back then, she had not touched a drop. So, when I fed it to her mouth to mouth, she had no way to resist. Drunk, Liu Ruyan's eyes shone frighteningly bright. They were full of excitement and disbelief. Baby, I want more. I handed her the glass so she could drink on her own. She boldly wrapped her arms around me. She rubbed her head against my shoulder, calling, baby, feed me. After that, I gave her plenty more to drink, and she kissed my lips more than once. Looking at Liu Ruyan, her gaze already hazy, I asked Liu Ruyan outright, do you have a mental illness? No. How could I be sick? Then what are those things in the basement for? At that, she suddenly clung to me and began to cry. I am sorry, baby. I am dirty. Someone else keeps appearing in my mind. I cannot control my own mind. I clearly do not like him, but my head is full of memories with him. Like a curse, he keeps appearing in my life, in my mind, telling me over and over that I love him. But I only love you, baby. But I can control it now. Every cell in my body tells me I hate him. If any man other than you touches me, I will throw up. From her answer, I thought I understood. Inside Liu Ruyan's mind were memories of her and Ji Boda from the novel. Those memories affected her even more deeply. Her heart told her that she did not love Ji Boda, but her mind was deeply imprinted with the fact that she loved Ji Boda. It was as if someone had taken the feelings from the novel and forced them into her mind. That was why, when I told her I was the one who had slept with her, she did not believe me. Baby, I really have cleared him out of my head. Please do not leave me, okay? Hearing that, I cupped her face. My heart aching, I kissed her lips. Liu Ruyan, from now on, we will work through this together. Once, I thought Liu Ruyan had developed feelings for Ji Boda, but now, it was clearly the plot influencing her. On the day of the wedding, Liu Ruyan woke me early that morning. Baby, I am going to marry someone else. At that, I pulled the covers over myself and went back to sleep. Liu Ruyan stood beside the bed, watching me with wounded eyes. But her phone kept ringing. Everyone was calling to hurry her along. The noise finally made me sit up. Go to the wedding venue right now. Be good and go through the ceremony. And do not do anything else. Liu Ruyan stared at me, her eyes brimming with grievance. While I sank into thought, Ji Boda was so afraid of me staying in the country. And I was the key to influencing Liu Ruyan. That showed just how much this wedding meant to him. Those voices in Liu Ruyan's head were all trying desperately to make her love Ji Boda as the one who stood to benefit. Ji Boda had to be behind this, no matter what. I would not let this wedding proceed as planned. Having made up my mind, I kissed Liu Ruyan on the lips. You are mine. I will never abandon you. Do not worry. Go on. I will have a surprise for you then. Her eyes lit up at once. She pinned me down and kissed me again. By noon, the wedding venue was packed with guests. Before everyone's eyes, Ji Boda entered in an elegant suit. Liu Ruyan stood in place, looking around anxiously. Then I appeared, and the icy severity in her eyes melted into springtime warmth. Under everyone's gaze, I walked onto the stage. Smiling, I held out my hand to Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan, I am here to steal you away. Will you come with me? Liu Ruyan strode toward me. A smile curved her lips as she said, I would love nothing more. At the sight, the guests were stunned. Ji Boda's face darkened as he said to Liu Ruyan, Liu Ruyan, look at me. You love me. You are going to marry me. Understand? But Liu Ruyan retorted, no, I do not love you. From beginning to end, Gu Chen is the only one I have ever loved. With that, Liu Ruyan and I clasped hands. Then we watched Ji Boda spit out a mouthful of blood. He said something to empty air, then collapsed unconscious. It was utterly chilling. The wedding came to an abrupt end. The Lias' attitude changed completely. They brought me home, treating me like a treasure as they apologized. Even they found it unbelievable. They could not understand why they had ever agreed to let Ji Boda marry Liu Ruyan. They had even spoiled Ji Boda like their own son all these years. Besides supporting his education, they had given him a position at the Liu Corporation. That was one thing. But they had no idea why they had agreed to his marriage with Liu Ruyan, without even asking what Liu Ruyan wanted. According to Father Liu, it was as though they had been hypnotized. It seemed my guess was right. The wedding had been the novel's final plot point. Once the wedding plot played out, everything returned to normal. After the wedding was ruined, the people who usually surrounded Ji Boda woke as if from a dream. The voices that haunted Liu Ruyan's mind also vanished. Still, she needed to see a therapist. For years, she had been swept along by reality and the novel's plot. Other than knowing it was right to love me, everything else was a muddled mix of truth and fiction. So even now, she still could not believe that I was the one who had been with her that night. Fortunately, my mother had handled the aftermath back then. I laid all the evidence before Liu Ruyan. What happened back then sounds incredibly foolish, but I had to make Liu Ruyan understand that she was not dirty. After Liu Ruyan looked through the evidence, her eyes unexpectedly turned red. Feeling guilty, I apologized. I am sorry. It was me. That night. But before I could finish, she threw her arms around me, sobbing. Baby, I am not dirty. Thank goodness it was you. But even through her tears, her hands began to wander over me. I did not know anything back then, and you took advantage of me. Now I am taking it back. I knew I was in the wrong. But it was physically demanding work, after all. So I hurriedly said, it is daytime. How about we wait until tonight? But Liu Ruyan said sweetly, I do not care. I want it now. The next day, with the wedding over, and the novel's plot concluded, I thought I would never cross paths with Ji Boda again. But he actually kidnapped me. Gu Chen, why are you so lucky? No matter who you are, she always chooses you. I only wanted to complete my mission to win her over and return alive. Why could she not love me? In the end, I learned from his disjointed, crazed ramblings that Ji Boda had tried to win Liu Ruyan over twice. The first time, he had switched our bodies, so he and Liu Ruyan could grow up together as childhood sweethearts. But Liu Ruyan did not love him. She fell for me instead, alone and helpless as I was. In the end, his mission failed, and the first died a tragic death. In this life, he deliberately chose the identity I had in my past life, and tried to win Liu Ruyan over by imitating me. Unfortunately, Liu Ruyan did not give him the time of day, so he used something called a system to hypnotize Liu Ruyan and her family. It was no different from cheating, but the price was that once he failed, his life would rapidly drain away. At the wedding, Ji Boda resorted to hypnosis again, but over the past 4 years, Liu Ruyan had tormented herself until she became immune to it. Liu Ruyan's confession to me was the strongest possible rebuttal. Ji Boda had pursued Liu Ruyan across 2 lifetimes, only for it all to come to nothing, and his life had reached its final moments. When Liu Ruyan arrived, Ji Boda was holding a knife to my throat. The sight of Liu Ruyan made him lose control. Ruyan, you love me, do you not? Say that you love me, and I will let him go. Say it. Liu Ruyan merely looked at me and gave a slight nod. Then she said, Gu Chen is the only man I will ever love. Ji Boda completely broke down at those words. I seized the chance and drove my elbow into him, knocking him to the ground. Then I quickly put distance between us. In an instant, the people Liu Ruyan had brought subdued him. Liu Ruyan held me, her whole body trembling. The way she looked at Ji Boda, she wanted to skin him alive. I held Liu Ruyan tightly and said in a muffled voice, Ruyan, I do not think I have ever said this to you. What is that? I love you. 3 months later, I proposed to Liu Ruyan. She planned our wedding with great care, yet I had once thought she was preparing it for Ji Boda. Later, Liu Ruyan told me, if I had not gone to stop the wedding, she would never have married Ji Boda anyway. According to her plan, she would have proposed to me that day. She had even prepared herself for my rejection. But if I had turned her down, she would have kept me captive for the rest of my life. Fortunately, I was finally brave for once, and did not let my happiness slip